I'm Jules Santiago. I'm Director of Field Operations and Admissions.
I'm Shannon Malish, CEO of Windmill Wellness Ranch. Jules, one of the things we have to talk about, because you're constantly saying the same thing over and over on the phone, is what are the common objections people have on why they don't go to treatment?
I think that's great that we're going to talk about this because we know how scary it is to make that phone call and all the things that are going on in their head of why they can't come, and they're trying to talk themselves out of it even though they need the help. So I'm excited to talk about this today.
What's one of the biggest objections you hear when people call in?
One of the biggest objections that I hear is that they can't afford to come.
Yep, I hear that. And you're talking to somebody that used 0% credit cards to go to treatment. And I had to find a way because I knew how important it was to go. There are a lot of centers out there that are nonprofit, and we can direct people to those. You'd be surprised how many people in your family may want to help you enter treatment. If you call us, we will get you into treatment somewhere.
We will usually offer up talking with the families, letting them know about the facilities, especially if they've been to a facility before and what sets us apart, to get them on board, get you here.
What's another objection you might hear? Why people can't come?
They can't pay their copay or deductible.
So what do we do about that?
We reach out to family. We take a look at their insurance. We look at their financial budget and see if we need to hardship them to get them here.
That's right, because most, if they meet the federal hardship guidelines, then they don't have to pay their deductible and out of pocket. The federal government puts together poverty guidelines, and I think it's somewhere around about $25,000 a year.
Yes, it is.
And most people, by the time they're going to treatment, are, in lack of a better word, kind of burn that down, are not able to work. So oftentimes they meet the federal guidelines for hardship.
So if they meet the guidelines, what we're able to do is get them in for a small fraction, some type of payment, whether it be $50, $100, and then that is all that they financially have to worry about while they're here.
So with financial hardship, if they meet those guidelines, then they are not responsible for any additional bills. Would somebody be afraid they might lose their job?
Absolutely, we hear that quite often. And what we're able to do is talk to them about FMLA. Their job might have FMLA. There's a lot of employers out there that know somebody, have a family member that struggle with addiction and alcoholism, and they could be understanding.
Yeah, I oftentimes hear that they're understanding. I mean, addiction affects 1 in about 8 people. So they would rather see you better than you become a better employee for them. And FMLA is Family Short-Term Medical Leave. I think that's what it stands for. And what that is it's basically you can take 90 days off and you may not get paid for that time, but your job's secured.
And what's great is there might be short-term disability and you can get paid while you're here.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know they have short-term disability and it's being taken out of their paycheck. We've run into many employers that will actually help financially get you into treatment. Addiction, like I said, affects so many people that there are a lot of very understanding people out there that would like to see you better. And most employers know something's wrong. They just might not know exactly what's wrong. I know you've heard that people say they can't come to treatment because they need to take care of their family. How do you deal with that?
Well, they're not really able to take care of their family in the first place, you know? And it probably won't be long until they lose their job or lose their benefits. And if they lose their job, they will not have insurance to come. So if they're still working and they're still providing for a family, there's FMLA, there's short-term disability, and they'll still have insurance to get the help they need.
Yeah, agreed. One of the things is they think they're staying at home, helping their family, like who's going to take care of the kids. But in all reality, they're not in good shape to take care of their kids. I know that young kids especially, they too know something's wrong, and maybe they even see it. I can tell you from my experience, my kids were really young when I went into treatment, but my son, who's 19 now, still remembers me getting wine out of the fridge. So in all reality, I was really emotionally not there once I began drinking, even though I had told myself, I only drink at night. But I really wasn't there for my husband or my kids. So for me, going to treatment helped me become a better mother down the road.
And that's another big one that I hear is, I can't leave my kids.
Yeah.
Who's going to take care of them? And I myself have struggled when I was in my addiction, taking care of my kids. My kids were a part of my intervention. They knew. They knew something was going on. And now the relationship I have with them, I don't think you can get any better than that.
Right. I agree. I think one of the things people want to stay in denial about is that maybe they don't know or they don't see me taking the pills, and they think everything's okay, but it's really not. Dad's coming home and sitting in a Burka Lounger and popping a beer every night and drinking a 6-pack or 3 or 4 beers. The kids start to see, oh, wait, that's how you cope with the world. So not only do they have the gene, then they're also watching it happen. Yeah. And so that's how they're starting to build their coping skills. And the next thing you know, they may need treatment because we've created a complete system of that's how you deal with problems.
I've learned everything from you, so I know you've heard a lot, and you did admissions when you first opened Windmill. What are some of the things you've heard?
That my spouse or partner might leave me. Have you heard it?
Oh, yes.
So what do we tell them?
What we tell them is, if you continue down this path, they definitely will. So coming to treatment and to a place like Windmill that offers family group therapy on Saturdays, smart friends and family on Sundays. We have visitation. We also offer one-on-one family counseling to rebuild that relationship in a healthy way.
Yeah, we're really good at intervening and working with family better than other centers. I don't know of a place that's got family workshop every weekend. We know that piece that the family needs recovery, and so does the person coming in, and to integrate them back together is the key to success after they leave.
And a lot of families, they need education around this. Yeah. They don't know how to deal with this, and to have support from other families that were here 5 years ago, because it's offered lifelong for them, is a great tool for them to use.
Oh, agreed. I mean, to hear from Casey, our family guy, that, we've got families on there from a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 months ago, and those families have connected and they're helping the other families, is just an amazing thing that's happened here. When I was working admissions, there were some concerns that an ex may use them being in treatment against them. Have you heard that?
I have. And what I tell them is we're a wellness ranch.
Right.
And nothing will be shared with anybody outside of here that they don't want us to share.
Right. I mean, HIPAA governs their care here. If somebody shows up here on property and they're asking, they are escorted off. This is a private wellness ranch, and we will respect their rights.
And what's great is, like you said, everyone knows somebody struggling with mental health or addiction, and to use that in court for somebody going and getting help.
Well, it won't happen.
Yeah.
It won't happen. I've never seen a judge sign an order where they interfere in somebody's mental health or substance abuse treatment. Mm-hmm. That's why there's such strict laws around it. But even so, let's say they find out, mm-hmm. okay? What's wrong with somebody getting help and becoming a better person? Mm-hmm. To me, that's courage. Yes. That's not weakness. There's not anything wrong with that. Let's say there is some issues happening, maybe custody, divorce, assets. You going to treatment actually bolsters your case because that's the best thing you could do for your family.
So I can speak from personal experience on that. You know, when I went to treatment, I was the addict. I was married to a normie, as we call them, someone that doesn't have addiction issues. And after I got home, I realized that this was not a healthy marriage, and I got my kids. They moved with me.
Yeah, they did. So I remember when I needed to go to treatment, I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to sleep well. Mm-hmm. And so I had used alcohol to sleep. I didn't know that 4 hours later, the sugar and the alcohol would wake you up, and that's mm-hmm. why you drink more. But do you hear that I'm afraid to come in because they're going to stop my sleeping meds?
All the time. So we have people, you know, that are shift workers. Mm-hmm. That's where you see it a lot. Mm-hmm. You know, you see in the railroad, you see it with the airlines. That's because their sleep is all thrown off. Mm-hmm. So they do use alcohol to go to sleep. Mm-hmm. But we will find something for them. We always do. It always works. Yeah.
I mean, just about everybody that comes to treatment has an issue with sleeping. Yes. And we're able to, we're not going to take things away and not let you not sleep. Mm-hmm. We are going to find a solution, and we find it relatively quickly. Mm-hmm. Sometimes just balancing the brain a little bit throws that circadian rhythm right back on.
Another thing other than sleep is pain medication and anxiety medication. Mm-hmm. They've lived on it for so long, and they may have pain, they may not have pain, you know?
Well,
what do you hear?
With the pain,
mm-hmm.
a lot of people have been in pain their entire lives. So we work with that pain. We're not going to say, oh no, you can't have pain medication. Now, if it's a controlled substance, we're going to try and make some changes there. Mm-hmm. And we've got some of the best practitioners here on site. We do neuro-emotional technique, we've got chiropractors, we've got massage therapists. If you need to see a specialist around your pain, we're going to get you to the specialist. But we're not going to let you live in pain, just like we're not going to not let you sleep. And with anxiety, you know, there's so many people with anxiety now, and they're given something that helps take that edge off. We're not going to let you be in a state of panic and anxiety. We are going to find a solution so that you can get better. When I was in my master's degree, I did a research paper on how many people won't go to treatment because they can't bring their dog. So one of the things at Windmill that we allow is dogs. Of course, within reason. There's a couple of different dogs that are not allowed here. But do you hear that?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's why we have so many dogs here.
That's why we have so many dogs here. Yes. And you know, generally our weight limit's about 25. I break that policy quite a bit because I know how important it is for their animal to be here. You know? And so, if it's going to help them therapeutically and it's a good dog, why not?
Yeah. As long as the dog is not going to harm anybody, right, and has manners, mm-hmm, and is housebroken, mm-hmm, we will definitely look at it. We yes. do not want people to be without their best friend.
Yeah.
And the dogs get better here too. Have you seen it?
Yes.
It's crazy.
And the other people, the dogs, they help them as well.
Yeah.
Another thing that I hear a lot is, why bother go? I've been to treatment. I've done it before. It's never worked before. What about you?
Oh yeah. So most people are hopeless. Yeah. And we've had people here that have been to 16 treatments. I mean, and they're doing well now. But a lot of times they want that hope, and we have the hope The difference is we are going to be looking at the real issue, and they're going to get the therapy that they need. A lot of times they don't know that they didn't get the treatment that they should have gotten. And maybe they weren't ready for the treatment then too. But at Windmill, we're peeling everything back. We're gonna get down to the real issue, start dealing with it, and give you joy back in your life again. And so please tell them, don't lose hope, because we have the best outcomes in the nation. We're doing it right. So call us and give it a try. Don't give up.
You know, I've been to treatment more than I can count. And if I didn't go to the last one, I wouldn't be here today, you know? And all these other treatments were 30 days. All these other treatments didn't work on the mental health, wasn't strong in AA, and that's what I needed, you know? And I've never had more than maybe a couple months clean and sober. And then at the age of 40, now I have over 6 years.
Yep, because you got it and you did it, and you're willing to do it. That's all we need here. All we need is, maybe I want to get better, and we do the rest of the work.
Just a little bit of hope.
Yep.